Before we get into your very juicy case study today, let's take it back to your story. How did you become an entrepreneur? What is your 2-minute cubicle to CEO story?
Well, I'll have to say, I'm going to take it back a little bit to before I was in a cubicle. When I was like 5 years old, I used to dress up, wear glasses without frames. I would put Coke in a coffee cup and pretend I was a boss. And I just knew, and like, I think I'm going to launch a business someday, but I have no idea like how I'm going to work, how this is going to work out. But I just kind of felt that from the early years on. Then I got into pharmaceutical sales after college, and I actually leapfrogged into the industry. So typically, as a pharmaceutical sales rep, you start off with general doctors, and then you go up to specialty. But I landed a job in specialty pharmaceuticals by calling on dermatologists. And so everybody kept saying how amazing that was and how it was the best doctor to see. And when I was working in pharmaceutical sales, I was actually really nervous because it's hard to sell to people, let alone doctors who do studies on your own products, and they know way more than you. So when I approached pharmaceutical sales, my company in my training, they helped me understand different personalities of doctors with the DISC assessment. And because of that, I was really nervous going into doctors' offices. I viewed them as the expert. I really leaned into learning different personalities and building my relationship. And it really panned out because I ended up being like the top 10 in pharmaceutical sales pretty much every year. And it was really because I put relationships first, but then also would people read and was well aware of a certain doctor and how I should show up in his office. Like I definitely didn't want to ask an analytical doctor how his weekend went because he would shut down immediately. It was really just going straight to, a data point or some new study to share it with him. So I actually had to leave that job when my husband and I moved to the Pacific Northwest, and he was in sales. I was in sales. I got pregnant, and we were like, how are we going to do this? And of course, with his job, he gave me the opportunity to stay at home and be with my son. So I left pharmaceutical sales, but I knew that I was always meant to do more. And, being a mom was super fulfilling, but I really enjoyed being a leader and selling and having progress in my day. And so I knew that I had to launch a business of my own. So when I launched a business of my own, it was with my very first course was an email marketing course called Email with Ease. And I created a personality quiz to be the top of funnel lead generator. And it was in that moment that I knew quizzes was something that I had to do for a few reasons. One, it was because it took off like crazy. People were sharing it. Quizzes are shareable content, which is really important as a business owner. And they were sharing it and they were putting it in Facebook groups, tagging me on Instagram. But not only that, Josh, one of the co-founders from Interact, actually reached out to me and said, why is your quiz converting so high? And so we started to talk. I told him my story about pharmaceutical sales and segmenting and having a personality quiz as my top of funnel. And he's called it an ingenious method because now I've segmented my list on my clients' personalities. And when you do that, you know how to communicate with them and you know their buying decisions. And it was at that point I knew I was, I should be doing quizzes. And so I started to niche down shortly after that. And now I just create personality quizzes.